Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a spooky season flip through. We're going to take a look at the fairly new release of the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. This is by Rose Wight and illustrated by Eugene Smith. It is published by Llewellyn and it retails for, let's see, $31.99. So I've already had a playthrough and have looked through the guidebook, and I'm super excited to share this with you. So if you are a Poe fanatic, or even if you like him just a little bit, this is a fairly decent deck, I must say. So let's see what the back says here. It says, blending the divinatory power of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot with the visionary writings of Edgar Allan Poe, this deck offers deep spiritual insight into who you are and what you might become. Stunning illustrations based on Poe's tales of the mysterious and the macabre will inspire your imagination and open your soul to revelation. Use this deck and the accompanying guidebook to transform your spirit and illuminate the shadows on your path. So, 78 cards and a 288-page guidebook. It is thick, guys. So it is your standard Llewellyn hinged deck with a little scarab there, and we open it up and it's so pretty. So this is a darker kind of feel, and rightfully so. It's Edgar Allan Poe, but check out this guidebook. It is thick. All right. It's super interesting too, because what I really love about this particular deck is there's a lot of info for beginners about tarot in general. So we do have some basic info for you, but what we also have is the information about Poe. And we'll get into it when we flip through the cards, but there's a section here about the art itself and what poem or story it's from and how it will relate to the tarot and the tarot meaning in itself. So it has that little section, and then the meaning, a little paragraph about the meaning, and then we have keywords and reversals. So pretty awesome. So if you're not super familiar with every single work that he has done, it gives you that information. And then also it intrigues you enough to want to take a look at that specific piece of literature. And quite honestly, when I was working with the cards, I was like, how does this relate? How does this particular story relate, or this image relate? Because I wasn't familiar with the poem or the work. And then reading that little excerpt, I was like, okay, it makes sense now. Everything is coming together. So whatever level you are at reading tarot, I feel like this is going to be the perfect little companion book for you. And if you're into the kind of dark and twisted, this is a pretty decent deck for that. I'm excited to share this with you. So in the center there, we do have another scarab or beetle. Let's get into it. I am in love with the back of this. It is so beautiful. Love it. And this is your standard Llewellyn size deck, and it is a little glossy too. So let me move you in close here. I don't know about you all, but I have not read Poe literature since high school. Just stunning artwork as well. Like, they just do a really good job about it being kind of dark and twisted, and I love it. And of course, the writer himself for the Emperor. So there's a few of these that I'm like, oh, I remember that story. And then there's others and I'm just like, I have no idea where that's from. It comes out of left field for me. So what I really do like about that companion book is that you get the information you needed and the story it's from, to where if you are interested enough, you can go look it up and you can go read that particular story for yourself. But I love that this has absolutely no borders, and it has just the title of the card down there, and it's all about the artwork. And I love this one, the Hangman version. This particular card, the Death card, that was a really interesting story. It's the portrait story, I believe, because I was like, what is this from? And it makes complete sense when you read the excerpt in the book. So just things like that where you don't really get it at first, and then once you read the little excerpt, and you're like, okay, that makes complete sense. So do you see how kind of twisted this is, but in like the most fun way? It's not terrifying. I don't find it, sinister or anything. It's just twisted. And for the holiday season, we like a little bit of dark and twisted. We're coming to the end of the major. And you can notice too how some of these are more positive and more uplifting for the positive cards, and then for some of the more darker cards is a little bit more sinister, which is kind of fun. I feel like everybody needs a little bit of a darker deck for more heavier readings, I feel, and just to switch it up a little bit. But that's just my opinion. Some people really don't like a darker deck, and that's completely fine. Like, this is a little dark and twisted here, and I'm going to say that throughout the whole video, so bear with me. But I feel like it can open your mind to more of a deeper meaning to some of the questions or scenarios that you are asking. Like, this is 7 of Wands, and that's a little kind of terrifying for 7 of Wands, but once you read the story, it makes sense. And I love, love, love this 8 of Wands here. This is another more sinister looking card, but it makes sense. And that's what's great about this deck, is there's a different perspective and a different tonality to it. And it's not necessarily scary. It's more of, okay, we're gonna look at this as more of a shadow work deck, kind of like the Darkwood Tarot, in a sense that we look at the things that we don't want to acknowledge a lot of the times, more of the darker things that float around in the shadows of our minds. And so it kind of allows that to be brought forth a little bit. And sometimes we need that. And, shadow work is important. So if that's something that you're interested in, taking a look at shadow work, this could be a good deck for that as well. And there is also a lot of symbolic things in these cards as well too, that helps you like paint a bigger picture with your intuition. So the way that things just, pick up in your mind from the imagery is fantastic too. Because again, tarot is a lot about the art, not just memorizing what the card is. It's what the artwork brings out from your intuition. How does the card make you feel? What are you focusing on in the card itself? What is more prominent to you at that moment? Because there are times when you use the same deck every day that there's different things that you notice and that you focus on first. And that particular part is what is kind of like the first and foremost thing that you need to pay attention to. This was interesting too, how it's different dates, but they're all Sunday. I haven't read anything about that in the card, but I thought that was kind of interesting. So like I said, there's a lot that I don't remember about his works, but I do enjoy this deck. I feel like it is fun. Kind of like how, you know, a haunted house is fun, but you know that you're safe. Like this is kind of like that feeling. Like it's just fun and it's more lighthearted than it is terrifying. I feel it is really like a deeper deck, like a heavier deck, but I don't feel like it's as heavy as the Tarot of Haunted House. I feel like that one's just really heavy and more, I don't use it as an everyday deck. I use it more for specific things. I use it for shadow work and that sort of a thing because it feels so heavy, but in a good way. I'm rambling and I'm probably not making any sense, but this particular deck I'm really thrilled with, actually. Like there's not much that I have complaints over, because that guidebook really helps you out. Like that's going to be your best friend with the stories that these images come from. And the pentacles. I love how the pentacles are these little beetles or scarabs, whatever you want to call them. Then the colors are just so vibrant. I really do love this. Look at this. It's so vibrant and beautiful. I really do want to start reading all of the works now because I am so intrigued. Look at how beautiful and vibrant all of that is. Oh, love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and shuffle. I'm telling you right now, I can predict that it's beautifully done. No problems with the shuffling. I feel like with all of the Llewellyn decks, from Everyday Witch to the Darkwood, it's just such a great size that no matter what size your hand is, you're going to have a good time shuffling. All right, that one wanted to come out. So the only complaint that I have is it's pretty glossy, but it's not super gloss. It's like I'm going to call it a semi-gloss. How about that? And it is your standard Llewellyn cardstock, so it is going to bend and flex. But quite honestly, every Llewellyn deck that I've had, and my Everyday Witch is a testament to it, I use that deck like almost every day. And the edges have been worn, but the cards hold up. They hold up with all of the shuffling. Oh, this was a good one. Okay, so 10 of Wands. I've read this one, that's why I wanted to say it's a good one. So, as you can see, he has been strapped to something on his back, and there are all of these onlookers in this ocean that looks chaotic. And all of these people on the boat are not helping him. And the sky looks like it's a little stormy. It looks like it's night. Doesn't look like he's having a good time. So 10 of Wands. Let's go ahead and read what that would be like in the guidebook should you purchase. And speaking of, I will link everywhere I know that you can purchase this deck in the description box, but they're not affiliated links or affiliate links, and I'm not sponsored for these kinds of videos. If I ever am sponsored, I will let you know. However, this isn't the day. So we have the 10 of Wands. This is how it would look in the books. I love that the picture is huge and in color here, so you can really see the card. You don't have to look back and forth at the card and the book and you can really figure out what's going on here too. So the first section here, it says Telltale Heart. In the oblong box, so that's the story, Cornelius Wyatt, jumps from a sinking ship with his wife's coffin tied to his back. Despite his determination to live, Wyatt drowns because the ship's captain wouldn't let him take the coffin into the lifeboat. Having promised his wife that he would deliver her body to her mother, Wyatt chooses death rather than abandon her corpse. And then there's an excerpt from the story. In another instant, both body and box were in the sea, disappearing suddenly at once and forever. In this image, lifeboat passengers watch Wyatt disappear beneath the waves. The sea is choppy and difficult to navigate. The sky is dark with clouds. Both symbolize intense life challenges. Lifeboat passengers hold 10 candles that will light their way as they head toward land. The red hue of the sky and Wyatt's shirt symbolize the courage to move forward in difficulty and the energy to carry heavy burdens. And so then it goes on with Into the Maelstrom. You're taking on more responsibility than is reasonable. In order to achieve your aims, you should lighten your load. However, if you're working overtime with a goal in mind, such as saving money for a relocation or a new car purchase, then working those extra hours will be well worth the effort. Focus on the end game. If you own a business, delegate your workload. Prioritize your tasks. If you've experienced significant delays, challenges, or struggles, don't lose sight of your goal. The finish line is in sight. Remember, the number 10 symbolizes completion and the end of a cycle. Regroup and prepare to take on a new challenge and responsibilities. And so upright meanings, keywords would be burden, responsibility, difficulty, heavy workload, exhaustion, burnt out, overcommitment, pressure, demands. Reversed would be share, delegate, boundaries, self-care, prioritize, moderate, purging, clearing, and release. So as you can see, there's a lot of information here. So if you're new to using tarot and reading the imagery, they give you a breakdown as to why they used this specific imagery and what symbols or things to look for when you're reading this card. So that's fantastic there. It gives you the connection to his work and the tarot card meaning. It gives you keywords to break it down even further, and it gives you reverse meanings. And then it also gives you the spreads back here as well. So I don't know if we went through the spreads, but we'll go through it real fast again if I didn't. So we have the 1 card, the 3 card, the fan, yes or no. We also have Poe-specific spreads. We have the Raven spread, the Telltale Heart, Dream Within a Dream, the Oval Portrait, and the Gravestone spread. So you get a lot in this in this guidebook. It's beautifully done. I feel like it is well worth the $31.99. However, I know that you can purchase it a couple dollars cheaper. I think if you even like Poe's, 1 or 2 works, this would be a fun deck to have, especially if you do shadow work, if you like to use specific cards around specific seasons, or if whatever the case may be. I really do like this deck. I feel like it's fun. I feel like you get a lot out of it, and you get a lot of it for your money, if that makes sense. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If this has been on your list, if this is something that you've been excited about, or if this is an absolute no. I would love to know the reasons why. So let me know down in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of the video. That way you'll never miss an upload from me. And I know this was a little bit longer of a video, but there was so much to cover in this deck. So thanks for sticking it out. Thanks for hanging out with me, and welcome to spooky season. All right, I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.